has been a long ass time since I've done one of these. But if you want to keep up to date on me from now on, I made a Twitter account, so if you want to follow me on Twitter you can. Just click the link down below, it will be in the description. So, where the hell was I? Oh yeah, that's right, I was doing a video game review. Now it's been a while since I made a review, so my reviewing could be a little rusty. Still, what better way to kick off a second season than to start with a game that is, well, I think I'll leave my personal judgments until after we've seen the game, shall we? So this game is none other than WWE, oh screw it, WWF, because that's what it originally was before they changed the cover to WWE, it was WWF. I remember having high hopes for this game back when it was released all the way in good old 2002, when its main competition was in fact WWE Shut Your Mouth, which at the time was a hell of a wrestling game to compete with. Although this game was in fact published by THQ, you know, because THQ also publishes SmackDown games, how cool is it that two wrestling brands have their own wrestling game? You know, at the time I thought it didn't get much better than that. You see, while THQ published both wrestling games, they were still developed by different companies. You see, SmackDown was developed by Ukes, while Raw was developed by another company called Anchor Incorporation, which honestly I've not actually heard of before, but thanks to modern technology we can see what kind of company they are. According to Wikipedia, and oh god, seriously, look at how many games they've made. 5 freaking games. And the arcade game Toy Fighters doesn't even have their own Wikipedia page. Okay, now hold on, just because Anchor haven't made a whole lot of games doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're a bad developer, right? Yeah? No? Well, I'm gonna let you judge that for yourself. Although I gotta say, the Raw games seem to be, and probably are, the best and definitely the last games that Anchor have actually made, according to Wikipedia, so that really should be taken into consideration. Oh well. Anyway, enough babbling, let's see what Anchor Inc. have in store for us in their first WWE wrestling game. So you have all the video introductions and the pre-credits and the copyright stuff, which leads up to the loading screen, and wow, that was really fast. This is one of those games where the opening video is just the exact same video they used on the actual program at the time. But that's okay, because this video, it is none other than Raw is War. Zoomed up a little bit there. So, you know, I welcome that video anytime. It's followed by fireworks going off in the arena, but this scene is actually fully animated instead of using real footage. But still, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, look at it, you got all the fireworks, you got all the crowd, you got all the camera angles, it's not bad. Now this is a press any key part of the opening screen, and as you can tell, it kind of gives you that feeling of watching the actual show, which is fine. I don't have anything wrong with that. So at the main menu, you got all the typical stuff in here, except for one option that is called Museum. Now here you can see the profile for any superstar in the game. Hell, it even shows specific information about the wrestler and a fully 3D rotational view of the superstar model. And I gotta say, they actually do look pretty decent. There's even a weapons and equipment option, where you can look at the weapons you unlock, in case you just need to see them in full 3D. Now as for the option mode itself, it is pretty straightforward, but it also is surprisingly specific as to what you want to actually do, which I thought was pretty interesting. Let's take a look at some of the matches. You got 1-on-1, tag team, tornado tag, triple threat, fatal 4-way, battle royal, 2-on-1, and 3-on-1. Okay, so there is a little variety of matches, but still it just lacks the matches that the WWE back then were all about. You know, like the cage match, the Hell in a Cell match, the ladder match, etc. Which is a little disappointing. Actually, for a lot of people, this is probably where the disappointment began. Let's try out 1-on-1. You can have managers, which is always a good thing, and you can even choose to be a manager if you want. Once you have done that, you have to set the rules for your match. Yeah, hardcore, normal, it's all pretty straightforward stuff. But what the hell is up with this music though? It sounds pretty weird. It has a good amount of wrestlers, although I'm sure some of you would probably disagree. And for the time that this game was released, the roster is actually quite outdated by 1 year or so, which people seem to complain about. I mean, this game was released in 2002, but the roster, it's consistent with the year 2001, I mean, yikes. So yeah, Triple H is there, and if you didn't know what my choice was going to be, then you must not seen my other videos before. So who to face? Kane. Okay, that seems like a good choice. So now moving on to what the... Whoa, Nelly! What the hell is that? That is not Triple H! For fuck's sake, what the hell happened to the developers? Is this like a joke? This... I mean, wow, this has to be the worst looking Triple H I have ever seen in a video game. I mean, he looks screwed up and here comes the pain, but at least it still kind of looks like him in some twisted sense. Heck, I'd say even the No Mercy Triple H looks better than this Triple H. God. Pretty much everybody else in the game looks really good, so what happened to Triple H? I guess the developers are not fans of Triple H. You got the versus screen, which actually looks like what it used to look like back then on the actual program, which, you know, again, is good. And now we come to the entrances, and I have to say, they actually look really good, the entrances. I was pretty impressed. I'd say some of the entrances look better than the Shut Your Mouth entrances. I mean, it's got great lighting, great camera work, good animation, except for the walking can look a little weird sometimes. But other than that, they all have good entrances. And heck, you know, they even have tag team entrances, which I thought was really cool. Okay, so now how does the all-important actual gameplay hold up? Well, to be honest, this is where I noticed all the main problems. First of all, the controls pretty much suck. You got one button to punch, one to block or guard, and one button that just does too much. Seriously, this button is used for pinning an opponent, taunting, picking up items, climbing the turnbuckles and entering and exiting the ring. Like sometimes you go to pin an opponent, and instead of pinning them you roll outside the ring, which can become really annoying. Okay, so while the entrance animations may look good, the actual gameplay animations look weird. I mean, seriously, this is not how wrestlers run. And this is not how wrestlers grapple. The camera angle can be at an odd angle at times, usually when you do a grapple or reverse a move. Which makes me wonder about the reversals. I mean, how does a wrestler reverse a flying clothesline like this? You know, the sound the wrestlers make every time they get hit it's like, you know what? It's strange. I mean, seriously, you know, come to think of it, Anchor Incorporation is a Japanese sub-developer company, so, you know, I'm guessing they use pre-recorded, or maybe they just recorded their own Japanese voiceovers for this game, where they get hit. I don't know, all the wrestlers, they sound like Japanese people when they attack or get hit. So I'm guessing Anchor Incorporation probably just threw some stock sound clips of Japanese people getting hurt. Which I gotta say, it just... using Japanese sound clips for American wrestlers doesn't fit. I mean, with wrestlers like Stone Cold or Triple H, the sound doesn't fit at all. The finishing moves have this little replay thing going on, which is pretty cool. Oh, and you may notice that there is no name bar, instead just a little stamina bar next to your wrestler, which you can turn off in the menu. They also have this big bar at the bottom, is where you gain momentum, I suppose. Anyway, when you get it high enough, you can do your finishing move. Yeah, it's a bit more basic than the SmackDown games, but then again, people like simplicity, so I'm not complaining. Although something kind of bothered me, for instance, when I went outside the ring, I couldn't help but feel like the game was insulting my intelligence. Because there is a floating sign saying item above a weapon or a usable item. What the hell? Something tells me this could very well be the work of frickin' Captain Obvious. Oh. Get out of here!